Photo voice reflection by Yatushika Sundarlingam. The first photo is the unseen horizon. This picture displays a calm sunset over the water where the bright light slowly fades behind a dark horizon. The first thought that comes to mind is the concept of ableism and how it limits equal participation in society. The warm sunlight represents opportunity and freedom, while the dark land in the distance symbolizes the invisible systems and structures that create barriers for people with disabilities. According to Campbell, ableism is the social process that privileges certain types of bodies and minds while viewing others as less valuable. This reflection reminds us that inclusion means more than access. It requires changing the way society views difference. When observing the photo, the white space between the viewer and the horizon can represent social barriers. These are not caused by the individual but by an environment that is not inclusive. Oliver explains through the social model of disability that people are disabled not by their impairment but by the barriers created by society, such as physical inaccessibility and discriminatory attitudes. The stillness of the water in the image shows how these barriers are often invisible or silent, yet they strongly affect people's quality of life and participation. Finally, this image also connects to the oppression and pathologizing of individuals. The sunset's beauty shows that every person has potential and value, but when society focuses only on what someone cannot do, it turns difference into deficiency. Goodley describes how labeling and medicalizing differences can devalue people and reduce their identity to a diagnosis. Instead of seeing darkness or limits, we should look at the full beauty of diversity and the need to change systems that exclude or oppress. This photograph invites us to rethink how we understand disability and inclusion. The light of the sunset reminds us that awareness and empathy can lead to change. To create a truly inclusive society, we must remove barriers, challenge ableism, and celebrate all individual strength and contributions. The second photo is Guild Park columns. This picture displaying the rigid classical structure of stone column brings to mind the historical and systematic ideas that have shaped our view of disability. The sheer power and scale of the structure make me consider disability identity and the importance of addressing this topic. The unique design of these tall columns suggests individuality and strength. As Forber Pratt believed, self identification as a disabled person is paramount to developing a sense of self esteem and belonging. Unfortunately, the word disability has become a stigma in our society. When we look at this perfectly balanced structure, it's easy to see how society tries to force people into predetermined mold instead of appreciating the inherent value of every unique individual. Having said that, looking at this stately classical column, it is also important to get rid of the normal distribution concept or the bell curve. We need to stop seeing people in typical ways and start appreciating the neurodiversity in our world. The imposing steps leading up to the column-based exemplified design built for the narrow norm those who can ascend them easily. According to Davis, the concept of norm is directly connected to the concept of deviation or abnormal. We must move past the idea that a set of stairs defines what is normal access and instead build environments that welcome all forms of movement. When we talk about the accessibility of structures like these, the social and medical models of disabilities immediately come to mind. Most of the time, our educational system and built environment prioritize the medical model over the social model. The medical model focuses on a person's inability to climb the steps. However, we have to change our mindset of seeing disability as a problem and start addressing the barriers that prevent inclusivity in our environment. For this reason, the social model is the best approach to this subject since it problematizes the environment that surrounds us. The unramped stairs themselves instead of seeing the disability as a problem in the individual. Third photo is the tall ship sailing. This picture displaying a magnificent tall ship sailing smoothly against a calm, colorful sky immediately brings to mind the journey of developing a strong sense of self and the conditions necessary for that journey to be successful. The side of the ship defined completely by its mast and sails makes me consider identity first language and the importance of addressing this topic. The vessel is not a hull with sails, it is fundamentally a schooner with its design being a core part of its identity. Similarly, self identification as a disabled person is paramount to develop a sense of self esteem and belonging, a belief held by Forbert Pratt. Unfortunately, the word disability has become a stigma in our society. When we look at this picture, it is possible to understand that just like the essential nature of ship design, we are all different and we should not be put into separate groups that establish what is normal and what is not. Having said that, the smooth, clear water shape sails on connect directly to quality of life or ease of living. The feeling of an effortless, safe journey ensures that the vessel's crew can meet all their essential needs. If the water were rough or full of obstacles, it would represent an environment that fails to meet basic needs outlined in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, creating a state of chronic distress that prevents high level growth. The fact that this ship is out enjoying the calm water speaks to the fulfillment of safety needs, allowing for the pursuit of high level needs like belonging and self actualization. When we talk about support, the smooth sailing of the ship brings to mind the importance of addressing the barriers that prevent inclusivity in our environment. Most of the time, our educational system prioritizes a view that the problem is with the ship, not the sea. However, we have to change our mindset of seeing disability as a problem and start creating an accessible, calm environment that supports everyone's journey. For this reason, prioritizing a high quality of life is the best approach to this subject since it ensures that the environment surrounding us supports the individual's well-being instead of creating unnecessary struggle. Thanks for listening to me. Signing off, Yato.